Imagine one day you're hanging out with your best friend and you discover that he is no longer interested in his old hobbies. He no longer laughs at the same jokes, he no longer tells the same stories. In fact, he no longer has any shared memories with you at all. An idea then grows in your mind. You try to push it out of your head because it's insanity. People can change, you remind yourself. But this idea gnaws at your thoughts, and finally you accept the truth. This is an imposter. Someone or something has replaced your friend.
Jesus Christ!
When you confront this stranger, it throws back its skin suit and growls, irrationally angry. Why do you care who I am? I look just like your friend. We have the same mannerisms. We have the same facial expressions. Hell, we even have the same face. Why won't you love me? It cries. And as it stands naked before you, you realize why this monster chose to hide its hideous form from the world.
You one ugly mother...
Everyone's talking about the upcoming Amazon show, The Rings of Power. And for good reason. It appears to be a soulless zombie wearing Middle-earth like it's a skin suit. In this video, we're going to look at the trailer that recently came out during the Super Bowl and talk about why fans are so upset with this show. And then we're going to look at the news that just dropped confirming what Tolkien fans already suspected, that the folks at Amazon are just a bunch of frauds. And we'll finish the video talking about what to expect moving forward. Spoiler alert, this is The Last Jedi all over again. The shills in the media are doing what they do best, attacking fans and protecting their corporate overlords at Amazon. But they seem to be about the only ones.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
I've dreaded having to make this video for a long time, ever since Amazon announced they were purchasing the rights to make a project based around Middle-earth. I've suspected they wouldn't be able to stay true to the source material. I knew they would infect it with the awful, cancerous infection that permeates every corner of modern Hollyweird. I could go on and on about it, but let's just watch the trailer.
Haven't you ever wondered what else is out there? There's wonders in this world beyond our wandering. I can feel
it. Okay, so apparently this girl here is Galadriel, climbing around on some glacier. I'm not a Tolkien scholar, but I am a massive fan of his work, and I know that Galadriel was never a swashbuckling hero. They describe her as the commander of the northern armies of Middle-earth at this time, but that's just not accurate. She always struck me as kinda pacifistic, in fact. Granted, this story is supposed to take place in the Second Age, hundreds of years before The Lord of the Rings, but it's jarring and quite a liberal take on a character that was never depicted this way by Tolkien. It's also quite telling that the first two characters that we see so far are female in a story that is decidedly dominated by male characters. Now, Amazon may not like that fact, but this isn't actually their story, and there will be backlash if this turns into some preachy crap about girl power, especially since Tolkien already addressed the issue of femininity existing in such a world so succinctly.
I am no man.
Alright, let's watch some more. Ugh. I don't know which part of this bothers me more. The fact that there's a dark-complected elf in a J.R.R. Tolkien story, or the fact that he just ripped an arrow out of mid-air and fired it back. We'll start with the elf's tan, I guess, because it may interest anyone out there to know that in Tolkien's world, there were no black elves or dwarves or hobbits. Now, it's not that the concept of those are bad on its very face. Nobody complained about the black elf in Dungeons & Dragons, for example, because it didn't contend with established lore. But it doesn't work in The Lord of the Rings because whether Amazon likes it or not, the only swarthy characters in Middle-earth were the Haradrim. If Amazon wanted to tell a story about those characters, giving the Haradrim culture some depth and helping us understand how Sauron tricked them into joining him, I'd be okay with it. But source material must be respected. That's how Peter Jackson did it, quite successfully I might add. In fact, check out this quote from him. We made a promise to ourselves at the beginning of the process that we weren't going to put any of our own politics, our own messages, our own themes into these movies. What we were trying to do was to analyze what was important to Tolkien and to try to honor that. In a way, we were trying to make these films for him, not for ourselves. Boy, Hollywood has sure changed in the last 20 years since Peter Jackson made the Lord of the Rings films. But getting back to the whole grabbing the arrow out of midair, this immediately has me thinking back to the nightmare that took place a decade ago when they put The Hobbit on the big screen. Instead of a compact, charming story about finding bravery like you'd expect from a book like The Hobbit, we got a series of impossible action scenes performed by dwarves and elves which completely robbed us of our suspension of disbelief and removed any sense of tension from the films. In one tiny clip, they've already shown me everything I need to know about this character. He's there for the visuals of being a dark-skinned elf, and he's wearing very thick plot armor.
Disappointed!
And here's the female dwarf that's making fans roll their eyes. Where's her beard, Amazon? Female dwarves are supposed to have beards. But whatever, I've had enough of watching this imposter try to impress me. Drop your thoughts on this trailer in the comment section. Am I the only one who thinks this looks like putrid, 7-day-old garbage?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
This article comes from Bounding Into Comics. It reads, The Rings of Power showrunners admit they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales. The Lord of the Rings of Power showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay admitted their show does not have a number of rights that depict events from the Second Age of the Lord of the Rings world. Speaking with Vanity Fair, Payne said, We have the rights solely to The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, The Return of the King, The Appendices, and The Hobbit. And that is it. We do not have the rights to the Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, The History of Middle-earth, or any of those other books. One wonders why in the world someone would endeavor to bring to live action the Second Age when you don't have the rights to the key materials that document the Second Age. Well, McKay has an answer. There's a version of everything we need for the Second Age in the books we have the rights to. As long as we're painting within those lines and not egregiously contradicting something we don't have the rights to, there's a lot of leeway and room to dramatize and tell some of the best stories that Tolkien ever came up with, he added. Well, it would seem to me they've already massively contradicted something they have no rights to. They've slapped together a skin suit that resembles the great work of Tolkien if you do them the favor of squinting and not looking for long. They want so badly to be loved, but they're looking for love in all the wrong places. Sure, the blue checkmark Uruk-hai on Twitter might clap like trained seals at their decisions, but they're angering a lot of fans.
You idiot!
Continuing on with the article, it reads, Payne and McKay once again showed their hubris and pride that they could do Tolkien's story better than Tolkien. McKay previously revealed his hubris when he told Vanity Fair, "Can we come up with the novel Tolkien never wrote and do it as the mega event series that could only happen now?" In this new Vanity Fair article, Payne adds, "We took all these little clues and thought of them as stars in the sky that we then connected to write the novel that Tolkien never wrote about the Second Age."
Sheer f***ing hubris.
Well, it seems to me that this is going to turn into a massive war between the fans of the series and the journalist shills who will say anything to please their corporate overlords, just like the Last Jedi situation over in Star Wars land. Sure, there will be less discerning fans out there who will watch the show simply because it's a Lord of the Rings project, but those are the normies and they don't buy merchandise. No, this will be a war for the soul of yet another beloved franchise that Hollywood sees fit to ruin with their pseudo-religion. And as I said in my story at the beginning of this video, once these skin suit wearers are outed, they'll go for the jugular, calling everyone who doesn't like their garbage every ist and phobe name in the book. In fact, they started doing this preemptively. In the Vanity Fair article mentioned in the Bounding into Comics story, the author writes, "When Amazon released photos of its multicultural cast, even without character names or plot details, the studio endured a reflexive attack from trolls, the anonymous online kind. Obviously, there was going to be push and backlash," says Tolkien scholar Mariana Rios Maldonado. But the question is from whom? Who are these people that feel so threatened or disgusted by the idea that an elf is black or Latino or Asian? I'll answer that, shill. Those people would be fans, and they're annoyed that you're trying to make this legendary story into a multicultural one, because it is decidedly monocultural. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote this story to be the ultimate British fairy tale or legend or whatever you want to call it. But I will say this, it's fitting that Amazon would give this major story to Vanity Fair because this show is just a vanity project at the hands of a corrupt weasel who wants to virtue signal about how amazing he and his company is. The media will circle the wagons and protect one of their wealthy benefactors from the embarrassment of public failure as best they can. But the skin suit is removed, and those of us who see them for what they are, actual clowns, can't stop laughing at the absurdity of their pathetic appearance. You can hate us all you want, pretenders, but emulating things that we love won't make us love you. But I want to hear what you think. Most of my viewers are big Star Wars fans, and most of you are probably veterans of the fandom menace, fighting back against Disney since The Last Jedi. Will you answer the call now that The Lord of the Rings calls for aid? Drop in your answer in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure I know what response to expect from the crew of my ship.
You have my sword. And you have my bow.
And my lightsaber. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.